Offbeat Tracks in 8 years is going to be across every Himalayan village in India. When you look at traveling to a village and looking at having an authentic village experience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 8. My name is Sanjay Chakrabarti. I'm the founder of Tag It. Today's guest is someone who almost joined the army at one point of time. She continues to have a significant impact as far as India is concerned. She was the one who helped us get to Bhutan and see Bhutan in an absolutely very, very different offbeat way. The venture she runs is also called Offbeat Tracks. I'm absolutely delighted to have with me my friend Vandana Vijay, founder of Offbeat Travels. Vandana, thank you for coming in.
Hi, Sanjay. Thank you so much for having me over. I was waiting for this invitation, so I'm super excited.
It's my pleasure, Vandana, all the way. Let me directly get into the first question. One breath, who is Vandana?
Vandana Vijay is a thoroughbred armed defense brat, a proud daughter and granddaughter of generals. I say, cut my veins, I bleed olive green. Very, very proud Indian, fitness enthusiast, love the outdoors, love food, and die-hard fan of the Himalayas.
Super. Vandana, second question, one breath. Tell us something about Offbeat Tracks.
Okay, little more about that. I very personally believe that India is one of the most culturally diverse nations of the world. And as I said previously, I have a deep found passion and love for the Himalayas and mountain communities. The true India, in my belief, is the India of the villages. Offbeat Tracks is that platform by which I enable everybody in India and the world to come and discover the cultural diversity of India and the Himalayas. So that's essentially what Offbeat Tracks in a nutshell is.
Where did the thought of Offbeat come to your mind? When was the first time you realized that you had a outstanding academic record, almost joined the defense, and then worked for Facebook, which is really a coveted job. How did the idea of Offbeat come to your mind?
I think I've always loved the mountains, and because of my father being in the army, I've had the privilege of growing up all over the country. Spent a lot of time in the Himalayas. In fact, I remember right from a child, my father and me would pore over contour maps of the mountains and look at, this peak is here and this summit is here and this road is here. The defense was a passion for me, and because I've grown up seeing, the men in my family being in uniforms and all of that. However, as I was telling you, due to certain reasons, I didn't join the army, and then Facebook happened. I think the seed for Offbeat Tracks was sown in 2014. I was volunteering for a non-profit in Ladakh. I'd taken some time off from Facebook and decided to go to Ladakh and volunteer with a non-profit. A little background story here. 2014 was the period of the Modi wave across India. Everyone was talking about Modi winning this was 2014 May. Almost election results were out. Everyone was Modi, Modi, Modi. This was a very heavy snow year in Ladakh and Kashmir and around. Now, keep in mind that Ladakh is a high altitude cold desert, and road access to Ladakh is via the Manali Rohtang Pass or from the Kashmir Khardungla, the Zojila side. The roads are closed about 7 to 8 months a year. And when the roads are open, there's only winter stocking which happens. So essentially, when the roads are open for those brief 4-5 months a year, all your supply comes in. So Ladakh as a region is accessible to the rest of the country via air for the rest of the year. So in the winters, if you fly into Leh, the conveyor belt will have sacks of potatoes and tomatoes on it in the airport. So what really struck me was when the rest of the country was talking about Modi and the Modi wave, the only concern in Ladakh and this region was when are the roads opening? We're running out of food. It was a heavy snow year. There was no food supply was running out because the passes had not yet opened. I spent about 3 weeks trekking in the mountains, meeting local village communities, talking to them, understanding their way of life. And what really struck me was that this is essentially what the real India is about. As a traveler, when we travel, especially if you're looking at a foreigner, he or she associates India with maybe a Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, a Goa for partying, and a Kerala for your Ayurvedic retreats. But all of us know how diverse we are as a country. A couple of 100 kilometers either way, you're exposed to a new culture, a new language, a new cuisine, and a new terrain. And I think that is where the seed of starting Offbeat Tracks kind of came in, and I said that this is what the real essence of India is. This is what true India is, and we can actually use travel as a way by which both people can benefit. As outsiders coming in, you learn so much about ways of life. If you're in Ladakh, you interact with an indigenous mountain community living at about 14,000 feet above sea level, a staple being barley. When you travel to Bhutan, very different community, very different way of life altogether. And how we help the communities through travel is that we are creating mountain homestays, we are creating rural employment by making these people as tour guides and experience providers. So we are essentially using sustainable and immersive travel as a way by which we can bring about development in these remote, hard to reach mountain communities by maintaining their cultural integrity intact.
Outstanding, Vandana. Let me get to the next question. Anyone learning that you would want to share with us in terms of your 5.5 years of entrepreneurial experience?
Honestly, I never thought I'd become an entrepreneur, but today where I am, I don't think I'd want to do anything else. I absolutely love where I am. It's been a roller coaster ride. I think the pandemic has been one of the hardest periods for us. The travel and tourism industry has probably never seen something this bad for at least a century, if not more. I think what has held me in steadfast, has helped us kind of sit and anchor tight and hold the fort during these hard 2 years was consistency and belief in ourselves. We kept all our stakeholders informed. There was absolute transparency. We had a lot of customers who had prior booked with us, but we were not able to honor their bookings because of the lockdown. But we told them, and we were open with our communication, saying that we're giving you a 100% credit note. When things open up, we will fulfill all your trips and bookings. All our stakeholders, a lot of them marginally employed, very, very dependent on tourism for the running of their homes. Helping them in whatever way we could support them. And I think just constantly us having that belief and reaffirming ourselves as a team that this will pass and we just need to learn out of this, keep pivoting. And I'm so glad to say that today tourism is again back on an upswing, and we're doing actually business right now is probably better than what it was pre-pandemic.
Outstanding. And Vandana, my strong belief is that anyone, especially in a sector which is as hard hit as the tourism segment, anyone who survived and is doing better than what they were doing earlier is clearly here to stay for long. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So Vandana, get to the next point. Next question really is, any one habit of yours that has helped you in your professional life?
I'm a Taurian. They say Taurians are bullheaded and stubborn. I think I'm just that. I am stubborn to the core. If there's something I believe in, I just go on. In fact, whenever I speak, I keep telling people that entrepreneurship is a very hard journey. It's a roller coaster ride. But if you have belief, you have faith, you have conviction that it's going to work, keep chipping away. I'll give you an example. This was 2017. I had a group of 14 people who had come down from California, and our mission was to solar electrify a hamlet in a remote village in Ladakh. So this village was completely off the grid. And, Ladakh, we're looking at about an altitude of about 12,000 feet. This is where the villages in Ladakh are called as, the hamlets are called as dokchas. So we decided that we will go to this dokcha, we will live in this village, and we will trek about 2 hours into the mountains and electrify homes which are on a ridge. So the team was flying in with the equipment from the US. And there was no problem to get the equipment to Delhi. We were flying the following day from Delhi to Leh, early morning flight. We're at the airport. The security authorities tell us, sorry, you cannot fly the solar equipment. Batteries are not permitted. And so we could fly everything else, the mast, the panels, the lights, but batteries, no, and batteries are the most important component of a solar light. So I told my participants, I said, why don't you get onto the flight? I'll figure out how to get these batteries. I went to cargo. There are no cargo planes that fly to Leh. The road would take me at least 7 days to get my stock via road to Leh. So I took the last flight that day into Leh, and I said, let me figure out what we'll do for batteries once we get into Leh. Found a shop in Leh. We got the batteries from there. shipped the batteries via road from Delhi into Leh, which took 7 days later. But the win was that now the village community, instead of one, had two batteries. So we give them solar lights for double the duration of time in case one battery dies out. We had to carry about 100 kgs of equipment on our backs using donkeys and local porters into this village, up a ridge, identify different homes with our equipment and drill it. But I'm so glad that that's where I say I think my bullheaded Taurian persistence kind of paid off, and we were able to give that gift of light. That's essentially what we said. We're giving you the gift of light from us to you, and I think it was just such a fulfilling experience, and we can't wait to get back and do some more.
Outstanding, outstanding. I have to share that even I'm a Taurian. We will discuss that, I think, in greater detail later on. And yes, even my partner would share that I'm also quite bullheaded when it comes to work. So yeah, I guess that's a good and bad part of being a Taurian. So Vandana, last question, the one breath one, Offbeat Tracks in 8 months and Offbeat Tracks in 8 years.
Offbeat Tracks in 8 months is going to grow 100x in terms of revenue of what we are doing today. That's where we look at travel and tourism happening. Offbeat Tracks in 8 years is going to be across every Himalayan village in India. When you look at traveling to a village and looking at having an authentic village experience, it could be trekking with the Changspas, understanding the story of your Pashmina in the high altitude lakes of Ladakh, or interacting with the Konyak tribes of Nagaland, which are the last head hunting tribes in India or in the world. Offbeat Tracks is going to be your name. Offbeat Tracks is going to be your partner of choice when you want to know, experience, and feel the real authentic India.
Outstanding, Vandana. And I really love the concept with which you are running, the passion that is behind, which is not really only the commercial side of it, but clearly the impact that you are creating across the value chain. And as I said, we've been to Bhutan through Offbeat Tracks, so I've seen firsthand the type of work that you guys are doing. I'm running the Ladakh Marathon hopefully later this year, and obviously we'll connect with you on that. But thank you so much for coming in. It was absolutely a pleasure as always talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me over, and all the best for Ladakh. I am very excited about you running the marathon.
Thanks so much. Bye. See you.